Assalamu alaikum. Anyone there? Okay, brothers and sisters, my name is Khalid Akbar. I am the executive committee member of WCMA, the West Cleveland Muslim Association. We were approached by sisters from social committee that there are few people who have questions and could not make it to the meeting on our emergency General Assembly meeting. So that's why we are doing this session tonight. It's a live Facebook. You guys can be posting your questions if you have any. We'll try not to. We're going to give you a general information, and because it's late, and it's a weeknight, so that's why we'll try to be in general and give you as much information as possible. If you have any questions, you can always get hold of any of the board members, me, Khalid, Brother Osama, our treasurer, and I have my general secretary, Brother Hamid, and we have a board member, Brother Faisal, but our president, Dr. Isam Alashi, and Dr. Faris Islam, the vice president. You can talk to us anytime. So just to give you some more information, general information about where we are at this time in regards to our project. So as you all know that we have land in North Ridgeville. We had a plan of building a masjid. We had a grand fundraiser in April, and alhamdulillah, we were able to collect a good amount of money. As we were proceeding forward and we had the designs and that were all approved by the city, once we had the bids, they were more than what we expected because of all the tariffs and increase in the building cost. While we were scrambling to make sure that we bring the project cost back within our budget, we were also, as a board, very diligently looking around to see if there's any other opportunity that opens up for us, especially the city of Westlake. Because since majority of the members are in Westlake, the desires and wishes were they want to stay in Westlake. And alhamdulillah, Allah Ta'ala help us, and there was an opportunity that opened up about 3 to 4 weeks back, and we started pursuing that. The property is big, it can support our community, and not only that, we can have long-term stay in that property. The location of the property is prime. It's right on Columbia, next to 90. It's not even half a mile from I-90. It's in city of Westlake, and that's something we are pursuing now. So we had an emergency General Assembly meeting where we laid out all our plans that how we are moving forward. Alhamdulillah, we had the survey of the building done, and based on that and the work that might be needed to upgrade and make it workable with our desires and needs, we were able to renegotiate the price down. I'm going to leave the numbers for my treasurer, Brother Osama. Is going to go into details of that. So we are able to bring the price down and are closing it on December 21st. And inshallah, I'm hoping that we should be able to close and own that property. This is now as far as the Ridgeville project goes, definitely the money we have in the masjid account is the community money. We cannot spend lavishly. So what we have done for the time being, we have shelved the project of North Ridgeville. The land at this time, as a board, we have decided we're going to hold on to, since in general the real estate value goes up, so it can be a good money saver for us. We can always sell it if we need to down the road. And since we all know the city of Ridgeville is also in the middle of expanding the Sandridge Road, that project is expected to be completed by end of 2019. So we expect that the property value of that land is going to go up, so it will pay us more than what we paid for. At this time, the land is there, alhamdulillah, and no, we are not paying a single penny for anything, except for in summer we have to take care of the grass that needs to be cut once a month, because it is a paid off And since we are a tax-free, tax-exempt organization, so we don't pay any taxes also. So this is a brief presentation and just brief information, like a details about our project and where we are. I'm going to pass it down to my brother Osama, my treasurer. He's going to give you a little bit detail about the finances. Brother Osama.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. The project, as Brother Khalid mentioned, is really a unique opportunity for us to grow on the west side of the Cleveland area. Alhamdulillah, we were actually pleasantly surprised to find a property that size that offers this potential in the city of Westlake. And Alhamdulillah, we approached the city of Westlake, and the city of Westlake has been very cooperative. And we are working with them now in trying to figure out how we can use this property for our needs. And the outcome is very promising, and we are hoping that we reach final planning stages with the city pretty soon. In terms of the cost of the building, the requested price for that property was about $1.6 million. And there was negotiations with actually a buyer at that time, but it didn't go through. And at the time we approached the seller, he was willing to entertain our offer. We did our due diligence, and we asked our engineering firm that was in charge of the initial project of building the North Ridgeville Community Center to put that project on hold and look into the new property. And they came back with a very complete and informative report about the conditions of the structure and the land and the property as a whole. And it was very positive, and it was very encouraging for us to move forward with negotiating the price with the owner, who was also cooperative and perceptive, and agreed based on the findings to lower the price from 1.6 million to 1.3 million. As of now, we are trying our best to get our resources together from our community members to complete or try by the middle of this month to have the funds ready for the full amount of the purchase price, which is, as I said, 1.3 million. We have a little more than 1 million allocated to acquiring the property, and we are hoping to collect as close as possible to $300,000 in the next week or 10 days. Our official deal with the owner of the property is to close and on the building on December 21st. So we have about a couple of weeks. From a financial standpoint, I'm confident our community is going to pull together and get this done, and hopefully this would work out for the community, Muslim community of the west side of the Cleveland area, as we hope for. If you do have any questions, feel free to post them. We'll be happy to answer them as they come. And we would like to see you coming forward to support this. We would like to see you coming forward to tour the property if you want. We would like to see you coming to our current location, our current temporary location. If you want to speak to us directly and get more information about it. We try to make ourselves available as much as possible in person and by email through the masjid email, wcmamasjid@gmail.com. For any questions or suggestions or pledges, I myself try to be available at the masjid every Jum'ah after the prayer for a while for any questions. And inshallah, this Friday, I will be conducting a tour at the new property at 2:30 p.m. for anybody who wants to take a tour or take a look at it. And you will be pleasantly amazed by the potential of this property for us as a community. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
So like Brother Osama said that inshallah this Friday, so as a community, we want to support the project, and what we are expecting from everyone to be at the masjid on Friday, and hopefully you guys come and support us financially and make sure that we are able to collect a shortfall by the 18th of this month. I know it's a short notice, but it's a good idea if people can start calling us, or any masjid members you know, they know how to get hold of us. Please let us know if you are, and anything you can afford counts. $10, 10,000, 100,000, whatever. We are also looking for people who have money and can loan as a qard hasana. We are looking for that also. And you want to talk a little bit about qard?
Yeah. So if somebody's interested to loan WCMA qard hasan, we have promissory notes drafted by a lawyer, and we would write you a note, and we will repay you that qard, inshallah, as soon as possible according to the terms that you set forth. We do request that you give us some time of wait between giving the loan and the repayment time, and that can be agreed on depending on your finances and how you want it to go. But we definitely welcome these loans from our community members, and an Islamic qard hasan is better than anything else, and we look forward to that. So we would avoid trying to go elsewhere outside of our community. So if you would want to step in that way, that'd be great. If you want to donate, that'd be even better. But a loan would definitely help out tremendously. And later on, according to your discretion, you can get your money back or forgive some of the loan, or it's up to you. Inshallah, it will be in your hasanat many times over in the Day of Judgment.
And also remember that, like Brother Osama said, the urgent need for the funds is to buy the property, and inshallah we'll do it. However, remember that after we buy the property, it has to be renovated according to our desires and needs, in order to make a community center where we can have our community, all the community come and not only enjoy and do our prayers. In regards to that, the board and the social committee of WCMA has decided that we will be having our fundraiser on March 2nd, 2019. March 2nd, 2019. Please mark, inshallah. So please mark your calendars now that on March 2nd, 2019, and we will be having a fundraiser in order to bridge the gap and collect the money so that we can go ahead full steam and do the renovation, and we'll try to get the community in that new building as soon as possible.
I would like to answer some of the questions we got. The first question from our dear brother Mazin. Can we entertain fundraising ASAP? And I personally spoke to Brother Mazen and other members of the community about this, about organizing a fundraiser takes a lot of time and money, but we can do something small on a small scale. We can invite people who are willing to pitch in, and we can definitely try to put something together in the next week or 10 days. It's going to be tight, but we can do it. And I think Dr. Mazen has volunteered his excellent organizational skills to help us organize that mini fundraiser, and we appreciate that, and we have no objections to do that. I think by Friday, inshallah, in Jum'ah prayer, we will bring that up with the community, and we will discuss that in detail on Friday. So if we can organize a fundraiser as soon as possible, we will in the next week or two, inshallah. Any other questions?
Huh? What is the question?
I'm looking for it.
Huh?
What is the plan timeline?
Yeah, brother Zishan. What is the plan time? Okay, so initially, well, we have an estimate from the engineer to work on figuring out the changes that we have to make to the building according to the requirements of the city of Westlake to be able to obtain a certificate of occupancy. They came to us with a 10-point list of things that we have to do before using the building for a big congregation. And he has these things, he has this list of things, and he's working now on figuring out how much is this list gonna cost and how long is it gonna take to finish working on it. He's gonna get back to us about that in January, because the engineering firm has a lot of people going on vacations and stuff like that. So in December, he's not gonna be able to come back to us with that information, but in January, he will let us know the necessary renovations that will allow us to obtain a certificate of occupancy from the city of Westlake, how much will it cost and how long it will take, and we will update the community with that. Right now, our main focus is to purchase the building. So we are focusing on this step because this opportunity is not going to present itself again.
So I think Brother Zishan has another question. How were the funds used?
How were the funds used? Well, the funds that we collected from the last fundraiser is why we have a little more than $1 million in the bank. Without those funds, we would have had $600,000 in the bank. So they have not been used yet. We have them, but we need 300,000 more to be able to pay the full price of the building.
And I just want to clarify a little bit. So I know this question has been asked many a time about all the money that was collected in the last fundraiser. What happened to that? So Alhamdulillah, brothers and sisters, you be rest assured that as long as we or any of the board is going to be running the masjid, all the funds that are collected, they will be secure, and the masjid board is going to be transparent in regards to the money also. And so the question comes that then how are we taking care of day-to-day business of the masjid? So Alhamdulillah, our weekly collection from our cash box is enough at the end of the month. We are able to pay all our bills as well as other necessary stuff that is needed to run the operation at this time. All the board members, we are volunteer, and we are not getting a single penny for the services we provide or the time we give to that. And I'm pretty sure and hopeful that when we step down and the new board comes, they will also be doing the same. So rest assured, brothers and sisters, the money, every single penny that was collected in the fundraiser is safe and is there. the question came up about the maintenance of the masjid. This is if you're talking about the current one. So I just mentioned to you that the money that we collect weekly, that money is alhamdulillah enough for us to take care of the operations. Now, when we move into the bigger building, sure enough, we will be needing more. And since we will be needing more, so, but again, at the same time, we are expecting the congregation number is going to go up. But most importantly, the money that is going to free up is the rent. At present, we are paying, what, $4,300?
$4,100
rent for the current space. So remember, brothers and sisters, this $4,100 will be freed up. So once we move into the building, that $4,100 will be there, plus whatever on top of it. So we are expecting as the congregation is going to grow, there will be more money coming in, and inshallah, you guys will like the new place where we move it.
There's another question from our dear sister Nisreen, who is our head teacher at WCMA school. She basically runs the school. Is there any alternative way to get the fund?
Sorry about that. Sorry.
To get the fund if we could not get it from our community? We had been in discussions with Ijara CDC, that is an Islamic foundation approved by Muslim scholars, global Muslim scholars. And the way they operate is they would partner with communities that want to build a masjid or a community center or a school, and become partners with them in a trust. And they purchase a portion of the building and the community purchase the other portion. And you can rent from them their portion and use it until you pay them out or you buy them out. This is the other alternative. Now, there were questions about whether this is Islamic and in accordance with Sharia, and this is something that we do not take lightly, of course. And we have asked more than one Islamic scholar and more than an Islamic institution. I personally called ISNA, Islamic Society of North America, and I called Dar al-Ifta in Egypt, and I got the same answer, that this is in accordance with Sharia law, and you are basically partnering with somebody, and they are not using their share, so you're renting it from them. And at any point, you can buy them out. You can buy them out tomorrow, or in a week, or in 5 years, or in 10 years. There is no penalties to buy them out, even in 1 day, and the whole place is yours. But while they are partners with you, if you want to use their share, you are paying them rent, and you agree with them on the rent amount from the start. I'm gonna rent your share, which is 30% of the building or 50% of the building for that much, and that's it. This is basically the alternative way to get the fund, which we may not need if we can pull together and get those $300,000 by next week and close the deal with our own funds. The next question, overall, what is the cost savings between buying this facility versus the original plan of building in North Ridgeville? So the building in North Ridgeville, we had bought the land, and it was actually a good price. The land itself was not expensive, and it costed about maybe $200,000 for 7 acres. The building was projected to cost about $4.4 to $4.5 million. The bids from contractors to build a custom building like this in a very hot construction market and rising building material prices, really shocked us with a price tab of at least the lowest bid we got was $6.5 million. So that was kind of beyond what we think or what we projected we could collect in the time frame that would satisfy our community to get a place of our own. And for a reason only Allah knows, the obstacles were put in front of us to achieve that project, while this other opportunity opened up and became very easy for us to negotiate and successfully get to this stage. So we never know what Allah has planned for us, and it's always better than what we plan. Another question from Sister Firdaus.
No,
she's just blessing us.
So Brother Martineza has a question. What are the closing costs?
Do you know the closing cost of the loan? As I said, we are not getting a loan, but I anticipate the cost of setting up the trust and managing the trust. That is a flat fee that anybody who's setting that up would pay, and it's in the neighborhood of $4,000 or $5,000, something like that. It's not an enormous amount of money. I do not anticipate a big amount in closing, but I don't know the exact number to answer that question yet. I will know that soon, inshallah. Another question from our very active brother Zishan. Can the deadline be pushed to purchase this building since it's a short time to fundraiser? Are we bidding against anyone else? Currently, no, we cannot push back the time. We have a purchase contract with the seller, and it was limited by a deadline and certain contingencies. We have put down $50,000 down payment for the seller to agree to sign this contract with us and not entertain any other offers on the property while we are doing our due diligence. If we breach that contract, we waive our $50,000 and we lose that money. And the deadline for closing in that contract is December 21st. So we cannot push that back. Currently, nobody's bidding with us because he is also bound by the same contract, and he had accepted the offer of $1.3 million already. So we are not backing out, and he is not backing out, inshallah.
Huh? Huh? I answered. Okay.
If anybody is reading any other question that we cannot see, please present it to us.
Right. Now, I've been reminded that there was a question earlier about North Ridgeville property, and if you guys see, I mean, I've mentioned that before. So yes, for the time being, we have shelved the project of North Ridgeville at this time because, like I mentioned, that because we want to spend the community money intelligently and wisely. We do not want to spend like money on two different projects running simultaneously. And as we know that project, just like Brother Osama has said, is costing too much, and this we can have an existing building that can be remodeled according to our needs, and it's going to cost us much less than what the project will cost. So for the time being, we have shelved the project of Ridgeville. However, as a board, we have decided we will be holding on to the land, just like you mentioned, that it is a paid off, and we are not paying any taxes on that. And the only maintenance we do on that land is taking care of the grass in summertime. That is $300 a month maybe. And yes, I've been reminded that also we cannot sell the land this quickly. This is not the right time. If we have to, we will wait until the road expansion project is completed. That might help us in the sense because the land price may go up, so we might get more than what we paid for.
A few things also that I wanted to mention. I wanted to answer Dr. Mary Selim's question. What is the chance that the engineer's recommendation in January may say that this building cannot be altered in a way to meet the city requirement for large gathering? Actually, the city, we've been very transparent with the city, and our engineer, who is actually a Muslim who comes to our masjid, has very good relation with the city, and this is one of the advantages of working with him. And we presented everything we wanted to do with the building to them, and they came back with those 10 points or 10 conditions that we have to meet, none of which are impossible to meet. As a matter of fact, the engineer said all this is doable, and I do not anticipate that the city will have any problem as long as we meet their code requirements, inshallah.
And I think I just add to that is that when our engineer, our lawyer, and our general secretary, when they met with the city had just earlier, like we said, that 10 points, they want us to do those first. So they have labeled that as a phase 1. And we'll plan to do remodeling, and so that not only it is done that fulfills our needs for the community center, as well as also satisfy the city's code. So no, it is doable, and the schematic designs were made that were presented to the city, and city did like them. They just asked few minor details, and mostly they were outside, and those will be addressed. The actual designs have not been done yet because we have to satisfy the city, like to tell them what exactly we want to do with this building. So now the actual design phase, we'll get into the actual design phase after we purchase the building. Once we get into the actual design phase, definitely we will take input from community members to see what exactly our community, both brothers and sisters, like to have it. We'll try to incorporate as much as possible, but remember, brothers and sisters, all the remodeling based on our desires and wishes needs money, and we need money to go forward. I can see there's one question, actually one comment I would say, is saying, I think a fundraiser is the way to go at this time. Yes, and that's what we are asking. So please, as many as possible, show up this Friday, show the support, show your support to the masjid, show your support to your community, and we will be asking and collecting money this Friday. So if you can, everybody showed up, and please don't be hesitant. If you can give us $10, $100, $1,000, $100,000, a qard hasana, whatever, we need the money now.
Brother Ramiz Asad has a question. What kind of renovations and potential upgrades are on the table for the building? I understand it was previously a gym. Is this going to be incorporated into the future facility? Well, the facility is big and can, like the sky is the limit in terms of how you want it to be. But until we purchase the building, and until we satisfy the City of Westlake code requirements to occupy the building, we will not be able to move forward and renovate according to our needs. But there is plenty of space to keep what we want to keep, get rid of what we do not want, and there is plenty of space to convert to whatever we want. Classrooms, exercise room, lounge, prayer area, whatever you want, we can discuss. But now, we're not sure that we're even buying it right now because we don't have the complete purchase price. We are trying, and we have an alternative plan, but and inshallah, we're not backing out of buying it, but still, we're at a phase way earlier than what is the final renovation is going to look like and what is the space going to be used at, as this is something we're going to sit down together, hopefully inside our new building after we move in, and then we can decide exactly like when you buy an older house. This time you renovate the kitchen, this time you renovate the bathroom, this time you renovate the basement, and we can have voting and community meetings and whatever we want to decide on that. Brother Zishan again, can you give us an idea about the list of requirements from the city? I can post them in the masjid, but it's a lot of details that is kind of outside of the scope of this session, but I can definitely address that at a later time. But it's a lot of details that is not really, including codes for entrances and exits and stairs and parking lot and sewer system and fire safety system in certain area where the current pool is, things like that. The pools are going to be a big issue with the city, so we will have to see about that. So these city requirements, they're all reasonable. Like there's nothing in the 10 points that the city raised that seem to us as an obstacle, or they're trying to put something, a big obstacle in front of us not to move on with our project. So they were all reasonable things, but I can print them out and have them available for anybody who want to read them. Donations can be made via the WCMA website as well, correct? Yes, they are. I do encourage people to just write a check and hand it to somebody, or mail it to WCMA PO Box. The address is WCMA PO Box. I forgot the PO Box.
Can you turn it over here? I'll give you that.
Okay, Brother Hamid will.
Our General Secretary.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. The address to our PO box is PO Box 45096, Westlake, Ohio 44145. Can we type it here? I think we can.
Yeah.
Get it. We can get it typed
Yeah.
in here. We'll
Yeah.
type it in later during the broadcast.
And obviously the website is a good option. The website will take you to PayPal. You can pay through that. If you choose the option to send money to friends and family, that will save us a fee of about 4%. But any donation kind is welcome. Some of our friends and brothers and sisters, they just send me their credit card info or give it to me when they see me, and I run it through. Some people give me a voided check and they tell me deduct that much from my checking account every month, and that's just an automatic thing I put in our bank account, and our WCMA bank account just deducts exactly like your electric bill. I do encourage everybody to sign up for that option just to sustain WCMA operations. Even if we buy a building or rent a building, or we need to pay utilities and we need to pay salaries for employees, and we need to maintain a school, weekend school, and we pay rent and stuff like that. So most of the successful Muslim communities in our country operate that way. There's sustaining members, which should be most of the families in the community, who pay anything from $10 a month to $1,000 a month to $10,000 a month. Everybody is in their own category, but the idea is to be sustaining, to regard this as your obligation, the same way as you regard your gas bill or your electric bill. If you got a gas bill, you're not going to ignore it. If you got an electric bill, you're not going to ignore it. If you have your car payment, you're not going to ignore it. This is your obligation to your main center in the community. your prayer area, the area where your kids get educated, the area that you go and pray, hopefully 5 times a day, and when you gather with your community in certain occasions, whether it's an Islamic occasion like Ramadan and Eid and things like that, or a social occasion like a gathering or a wedding or iftar or something like that. This is your contribution, your participation. We were all, most of us are immigrants, and most of us, we were brought in this country, and in this country we are living in the top 2% of the human population. We have 7 billion people on the planet. We are on the top 2%, and Allah blessed us with this and brought us here for a reason. And we have to all think about why are we here, and why were we put here, and what is our purpose. This is an obligation. At least this is how I think. I do not generalize. I don't want to impose my views on anybody, but this is how I think. I think this is an obligation, and when I think about it, I think of it as something as necessary as anything else in my life, and I hope my Muslim brothers and sisters think of it the same way.
Just to segue, Brother Osama, one more thing is that we had $100 club. So we were expecting that people can donate $100 per month besides paying their masjid dues for membership. This was basically just also to sustain the extra expenses that can come, and to have some extra money in our coffers so that when we are in the need, we can always use that money. So that $100 club, alhamdulillah, we have 84 people who have been paying, some of them regularly, monthly, and some of them they pay yearly. I would like to encourage brothers and sisters to please become part of that $100 club. And not only that, I'm expecting that the people, all those of us who can afford, and if they would like to, if they can, for the time being, in this time of need, if they can make that $100 to $200 per month, that is really going to help us keep moving forward. As far as Brother Zishan Gaba, he said that, I'm just going to briefly answer your question, Brother Zishan, that why it has to be changed since it is already a gym. No, it has to be changed because it was used as a gym purposes, whereas this one will be used as more for the community purposes. At any given time in a gym, you will never see more than 100 people, but any given time in a congregation or in any of community event which we are going to be, there will be like 400 plus people. So city has to make sure that they satisfy the codes, and most importantly, in gym, kids don't come. Whereas here at the community center, there will be kids coming in. So we have to make sure that the building is safe and it's kids friendly, as well as elderly and handicap friendly. So we have to make sure that we have to do this. So that's why Brother Mazen Isa has put up a question that can we add our ladies to the WhatsApp group. Inshallah, we will discuss Brother Mazen on the WhatsApp group, and we can add that. Absolutely, that's a possibility.
I have a comment to add on Zishan's question.
Sure.
So another aspect to Zishan's question about why were the codes the same? Why didn't we just be able to move in as a gym? Well, one of the things was that the previous building was grandfathered, and therefore a lot of the codes were designed for that building and that operation. So as you change hands from one owner to the other, the codes that were grandfathered are no longer relevant. That's why the city has mandated some of those requirements for us. That's why the cost. That's why we are looking to get an occupancy permit, inshallah, very soon. But before that, let's try to get the closing done, inshallah, with all your help. And also, I wanted to add, Brother Zishan, thank you so much for your questions, and give it back.
We have a quickly have to go through that because we're running out of time. So Brother Osman said we should reach out to the youth group on to help with the fundraiser, we will definitely do that. Sister Lamia is reminding me that there is a brother who pledged to match every donor with $150. So if we reach 200 people, so we need to reach 200. If we reach 200 donors, regardless of how much they're paying, a donor can be paying $50,000 or $50. As long as we get 200 donors participating in this short notice fundraiser, he will match every one of them with $150, which will bring us to a total pledge from him of $30,000, which is pretty generous. Hopefully we can reach that. Sister Naz is asking about how many floors does the building have and how square footage. Yeah, the usable space in the building is about 25,000 square feet. With the outside pool area and stuff like that that we will eventually use, it is a little more, but minimum 25,000 square feet. The building can hold people. That's debatable based on what the city would allow, based on the codes we will achieve. Sister Nasreen wanted to encourage the Quran halaqa at 3 p.m.
Yes.
To go for a tour of the building. I'd be happy to take anybody, any group. We get together, decide on a time, hopefully on a time that I'm not working, right. And I can. I'm usually available Friday after the Jum'ah prayer, or most weekends, but most weekends in the afternoon. And I can take you, but I need 2 days notice before, so I can let the realtor know so that he can give us access to the building. There is a tour of the building this Friday at 2:30 p.m. Right after the Jum'ah prayer. So if somebody's interested, the address is 1255 Columbia Road, Westlake, Ohio. Sister Halima, do you have a program for teaching Arabic language?
Yes, not
well, we will have all the programs that we want, inshallah, when we have the building. As I said, the sky is the limit, and the problem is anything you plan ends where the money ends. So if I have funds, we'll have all kinds of courses and Arabic teaching classes and Quran halaqas, and we will hire a full-time imam and everything you can think of. But it all depends on how much people pitch in and how much we can collect.
Yeah. Let me answer the last one. Brother Yusuf has this question that what will be the, this is the last question, brothers and sisters, because time is running out, and if you have any more questions, please keep posting up, and we will definitely answer the questions. So this is the last question I'm taking from Brother Yusuf, that what will the new masjid offer? Most of the Quran teaching groups are very costly for an average family. Have you set a plan for this, or the plan is just to get the masjid up and running, just like other masajid in the Cleveland area? So brother, you have to remember this, that we have tried our best to run the programs in the masjid. We have subsidized, and we have, in the beginning when we started, we were not charging. And when we started charging, it was bare minimum. But then it was very, very difficult to sustain, because people were volunteering their times. And once they were done, so it was hard to find teachers. Now, if anyone gives their time on a weekend to come out and teach the kids, it becomes a responsibility also. We have to understand and remember that that person is giving their personal time to us on a weekend. So that person needs to deserve to be compensated. So yes, it is a plan. We will try our best to keep it as limited, as little as possible. But again, you have to remember, someone has to pay. So either it is the community or the parent. So we'll try our best. So if we can in future, if we have good number of congregation, good number of people who are member of the masjid, and masjid has the money, we do. And again, the new board, whoever is going to be there, If they want to subsidize these activities, absolutely. But if they're not, then there will be some kind of middle ground, inshallah, because remember, all what we are doing now is for our next generation. We are here, we are late in our lives. Most importantly, what we are doing is for our kids, our generation. We want our masjid, we want this community center to be a magnet where our kids love to come and enjoy their time rather than running away from them. So yes, please keep putting your questions and please telling us, letting us know. You can put it on the Facebook, you can email, you can get hold of any of the board member in the masjid. Please let us know with your opinions. But again, in the end, I will again request humbly to all the community members, brothers and sisters, please, this Friday, show as much as possible. Bring your checkbooks. We're going to try to collect the money as much as possible because we do not want to lose this opportunity. This is one of the best opportunity Allah Ta'ala has given us. Just like Brother Osama said, that the hurdles came in our way for the land in Ridgeville or to build the building, maybe just because of that. This was the property waiting for us. Allah Ta'ala has kept it for us. Let's go and get it.
Inshallah, we will write or we will type the address again to mail your checks, and we will write the masjid email account. We would like to thank you for your time that you gave us tonight, and we hope we were informative enough. We try to work as hard as possible, volunteering for our community for nothing but for the sake of Allah, and we try our best to achieve what you all hope and dream of, is to have a big, strong community center that can hold us together as a community. We pride ourselves in being one of the most diverse Muslim community in the nation that really functions well together, and we like to continue to do that. We would like to educate our next generation and youth and kids how to be steadfast on the path, on the right path to Allah. And may Allah reward everybody who contributes to this project or any project coming in the future that is involving our community. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.